Hello, what's your name?
My name's Carla.
Oh, hi Kyla, nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm okay. I'm not good. Um, I've got a lot going on and I just don't really know how to handle it.
Well, that's fair enough. I'm going to do my best to try and help you. Can I please know where we can begin? Like, what brought you in today? How come you're here to see me today?
Well, that's like a lot. Like it started like 6 years ago. My brother started using super heavily and excessively, and it was just all downhill from there.
Can you please explain more about your brother?
Well, I mean, there's not tons to go over. We lived together. We lost both our parents at a young age. My mother passed away, and my dad is basically just not in the picture. Like, he abandoned us straight up. A lot of nights my brother doesn't come home till late. He's like drugged out of his mind. We get into so many arguments and fights and back and forth because I just want the best for him, and I feel like he's just wasting away his life. And like, I'm honestly scared that one day he's just not going to come home and it's going to be because he's dead somewhere and I'm not even going to get the call. Like, that's what I'm scared of all the time.
Oh, I really understand. As you mentioned, like your parents passed away, right? Is he the only brother that you have?
He is, yeah. He's the only family I have. We don't even, like, we were never close to our grandparents or cousins or anything. Like, he's it for me, you know?
Yeah, do you sometimes argue, like, when he doesn't come home and then you try to explain, like, why you're not here? Does he complain or does he apologize to you? What happens?
He's never apologized. He's always so angry with me and tries to blame me for everything. He says that I should be more understanding, that he has to deal with it, how he's going to deal with it. But it's just like, there's so many better ways to handle things and deal with things than turning to drugs. And like, because he just comes home and he's not himself. Sometimes he can be like so mean. Like, the things that he says are like, you know, textbook, like, horrible, like, things you'd never want to hear, especially your younger brother say to you. So it's just like, it defeats me, it breaks me down, it destroys my confidence. And it's like, I end up here, but he's at home. Like, I end up being the one taken in because I can't handle what he's saying to me. But like, nobody wants to like hold him accountable for what he's saying to me or what he's doing or the drugs that he's on. Like, he needs help.
Honestly speaking, I really understand. Do you only argue or sometimes you even get into that physical fight with him?
No, we've never been like physical. It's not really like that. Like, he'll get so angry and he'll get very like in my face, but he's never actually hurt me. Like, we've never hurt each other. We never make swings. It's all just verbal. Like, all of it is just so verbal and loud.
Yeah, that really shows that you really care about your brother so much. Can I please know how much you really care about your brother?
I care about him a lot. Like, 10 out of 10, like, he's the most important person in my life. I really, like, he's not replaceable. And I think that's the biggest reason why I have so much, like, emphasis on making sure he's okay. Like, I've been diagnosed with a panic disorder. I know that sometimes I can be really like overbearing or a little bit too much about situations, but it's like, he's literally my only family and I'm watching him and it's like, I'm not exaggerating the fact that he's hurting and that these drugs are like affecting him. So it's just like, how can I help? I'm gonna lose him. Like, I feel like I just have to accept that. It's like, how do you accept that?
I will say, like, it is fair to feel like this way because sometimes when the people that we love are not in the right space, we begin to kind of be worried. But like, my question is, like, when you're arguing with your brother, right? Do you lower your voice or you make it to the level that your neighbors are not like
usually I'll always start it off calm. Like, if he was to come home right now and he was the way he was, I'd be like, hey, what's going on? You know, like, I'd be asking questions, I'd be trying to make sure he's okay, and I don't immediately get mad. Like, the second he walks through the door, I can tell he's off his mind, off his rocker, but I don't explode at him right away. I try to stay calm, try to stay level-headed, but like, the more elevated that he gets, the more elevated I get, and next thing you know, he's screaming in my face, and it's like, how do you even resolve that without screaming back? Like, you can't just like, no matter how I react, like, oh, it's okay, like, he's just gonna yell louder, and I don't want to get taken advantage of like that. Like, it just hurts for both of us.
I'm really sorry to hear about that, but like, do you know what is causing him to do this?
I mean, I've always just assumed it was the drugs. Like, he's, you know, like, I feel like drugs can make people violent and drugs can make people like not in the right mind. So I just always thought it was that.
But have you ever seen him like actually using drugs in the house, or you're just assuming that he does use drugs?
No, he definitely uses drugs. He's admitted it to me, and he doesn't even try to deny it when I point him out on it. He always is just like really like aggressive, like it's none of your business, like you shouldn't care about this, like it's my life, I'll do what I want, and just like again like yells at me like I'm gonna cope with things however I know how to cope with things.
That makes sense. It seems like you're trying really hard to control yourself, and you're very aware of that's causing this disturbance. A panic disorder can mean that some small things can feel big, and big things can feel devastating. Your brother needs help, and you need to look out for yourself.
I mean, I do try to look out for myself. Sometimes, like, I feel responsible for what he's going through. It's just like, you know, he doesn't have my mom or my dad to look out for him, and I'm his older sister, so it's like somebody, he's only 20, like, yes, that's an adult, but it's like he doesn't act like an adult, and all I can see is like my little brother running around and just devastated from losing my parents, and it's just like, I want to make sure he's okay. I want to make sure he's okay.
And if you can be honest with me, so try to be honest with me because I'm here to help you. How would you rate your success in helping your brother? Like on a scale from 1 to 10?
I mean, honestly, probably like a 4, maybe lower. Like, I try really hard, I mean really well, but it's just like everything that I say to him is like in one ear and out the other. And if it doesn't just like make him more angry, it's just like, I feel like I'm wasting my breath, but it's hard not to consider it worth it. I mean, I have to do something, right? Like, I want to help him. Like, how do I do that?
And if you need to offer your brother any help or the treatment because you understand what he is going through, what will it be?
I think he needs rehab. Like, you know, he needs to be taken away from the drugs because he's been on these like month-long binges, and even when he finally like gets clean for a few days, he'll go and use anything. And he's not like, it's not like he's addicted to one drug. He's like addicted to feeling high. Like he will go for anything, anytime, just to make sure that he's not in like that frame of reality. So it's like he needs like rehabilitation. He needs to be taken out of his situation, made sure he can't have drugs, so he can get clean.
Kyla, can I please know if you have ever tried rehab?
Well, like, I have friends who have gone to rehab, and I've been trying for like so long to get my brother into a rehabilitation facility, but it's impossible. Like, you know, they expect you to wait months and months and months if you're going to go in and have like financial support, or you can pay like tens of thousands of dollars, and it's like, when my brother is in the state that he's in, he's not working. Like, it's a very serious addiction, so how is he gonna, you know, support it? I don't work enough to afford that much, so it's just like it feels impossible. It feels like by the time we'd actually get in there, like, he'd be gone, you know?
Yeah, I can say that you're not wrong thinking about the rehab, thinking about that treatment, but like that treatment, it's actually hard. It's one of the hardest routes. So if I consider you to take other option like AA or NA or other counseling.
I mean, like, I would love to see him do that kind of thing. I would love to see him in NA. I would love to see him, you know, having that group support system, but he completely fights against it. Like, even for treatment as it is, like, he's more open to it. I think it's more just because he likes the idea that it, like, oh, it'd be like a vacation, they'd take care of me, even though he kind of has that mindset about it.
Yeah.
But, like, whereas, like, NAAA, he just feels like it would be, like, really kind of, I don't know, like, he won't.
So, if you can't actually take the AA or NA, have you heard about Widowwood?
No, I
They
haven't.
can actually help you.
Really? Well, what do they do? Like,
it takes clients and allows for a certain number of visits unpaid. You don't have to pay for anything.
Oh, wow.
You just go in there and then they counsel you. They have like excellent service, and they really believe that they can actually help you with
like
that.
counseling, like individual, like couple, like family.
Yeah, it's like family or the family.
Yeah,
thing.
awesome.
It's not like about the individual. You can actually go with the whole family if you want, and you don't have to pay anything.
Okay, so we could kind of like, he could go in on his own and I could go in on my own, and like if that went well, we could go in together.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We can actually
Okay.
go together, yeah.
All right. So then, I mean, that sounds like it could be something good. Like, I'm sure that it could be difficult for me to convince him to go in, but like, sometimes he's wishy-washy about it. Like, he knows that he has a problem and he doesn't want to get help mostly when he's sober, but it's just getting him to that point. So like, I guess there's no, like, I could make an appointment and hopefully, like, if he cancels, he cancels, and if we can make it in, then that's great. Okay. So to be honest, I have like one more concern. It's just like, it's my medication. I feel like in the beginning it really worked for me. Now I'm feeling like it's not working at all. Like, I take it and I don't feel anything, and I'm just like having more and more panic attacks, and like, that's what the medication was supposed to help with.
So can I please know the kind of medication? You just mentioned like medication. Can I please know the kind of medication that you're taking right now?
I'm on antidepressants, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can understand that you've been following the prescription as recommended by the doctor. But at this point, it could be a good idea to book an appointment to talk to the like family doctor for more information and to actually become more better.
Yeah, because like he told me by 6 months like the medication should have taken effect, so like it's been 9 months now. I feel like if this medication was working, it'd be doing something good for me. My issue is just like, I'm almost scared to talk to my doctor about it. It's like, my doctor knows that my brother has addiction issues, and it's like, what if he thinks that I'm just trying to get these medications so that I can get high off of it or misuse it? Like, what if he, like, I don't want him to think that of me. Like, I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, you really know that you're not taking any substances.
Yeah.
So it won't be like a very big problem. You will just explain, and he's a doctor. He will understand.
Yeah. I guess that's true. That's fair. May I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm always being told by everybody, by the police who brought me in here, by like my friends, by literally anybody I speak to, that I just, I shouldn't be living with my brother. But it's like, when my mom passed away, that was the only option that we had for stability, was her house, and we've always stayed there, and it's become this environment that I don't know if it's healthy for me anymore.
So Kyla, I really understand like this is not an easy decision or position to be in, but for the sake of your mental health, right, I will recommend, I will be so happy to actually make an environment to stabilize you in order to be able to grow.
I want stability, I do. Like, that's why I asked the question. Like, I want to know what people think, because like, people have been telling me like I should move out, but I just like, I don't see how me moving out would help him at all. Like, I get how it would help me, but it feels almost selfish, like I know I'm not doing the best. Like, what I'm doing isn't necessarily like helping him, but I'm trying to, and I feel like without me trying, like no one's trying to help him.
I understand, like enabling drug use isn't the only kind of enabling. In family, sometimes the behavior is what's being enabled. The more the situation between you happens, I understand that it's more toxic.
Yeah. I guess I get that. Like, the more it happens, the more he thinks it's okay, the more he elevates it, and that's been true over time. It's like, it's gotten worse over time. Like, I still, like, the word enabling frustrates me, because I feel like, I work so hard to make sure he's not doing drugs, but I get what you mean in saying, like, it could be enabling his behaviors. I get that. I don't like the word, obviously, because I'm trying my best. I'm doing my best to help him. But, like, if that's not the best case overall, like, do you think that, like, taking that space from him would really help him that much? Or, like...
So, what do you think if I go, like, in some of the goals that we have established for you? I guess that will actually help you. Like, maybe one of the goals that I have for you here is to get a separate housing.
Yeah.
For you and your brother.
Yeah.
And to get a family counseling, and also to get like a personal counseling, and also a proper proper medication.
Yeah.
Proper medication.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to this list, maybe?
I mean, like, it sounds good for me. The biggest thing I'm concerned about, like, especially that first point of, like, getting the separate housing is just, like, I've been living with him my entire life. I've never lived on my own, and I don't know how to go about starting that. Like, I feel like my panic disorder would get even worse if I was just, like, thinking about him all the time, worrying about where he was, and, like, having no certainty, Like, how do I handle being alone?
That's a very normal thing. I really understand that you lived with him for the very longest time that you can actually remember, and that's a normal thing, as I mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
And anyways, it's not like you spend most of the time together. He leaves in the morning, he comes at night. You spend like almost like I think has 24 hours, right? Maybe you spend like almost like 21 hours when you're alone.
Yeah.
Can I please know what you do when you are like alone when he's not there?
Well, like a lot of the times I play a lot of music, I watch TV,
Mhm.
I really like to do yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dog, I love to go for dog walks. So like I usually like I'm a very busy person, like I fill my day up with a lot of things to distract me so that I'm not really focused on that kind of stuff.
And does that really work well for you?
Yeah, like I definitely like sometimes are a lot harder than others, but I think that's just kind of life. Like you have to go with the motions, and I think that like we said earlier, like if I got my medication more in check, then like those things could really be like good coping mechanisms that can like help me get through it.
And can this be one of the effective way that can actually help you between your partner?
Probably. Like it would definitely help me. Again, it comes back to like I know it's not my responsibility. I know he's not, like it's not on me to make sure he's okay, but it does feel selfish because I know that stuff would help me. I know I'm gonna be okay at the end of the day, but I don't know about him. But what you're saying makes sense to me, and it may be best, like you said, for enabling, for everything. It may just be the best case scenario that I do get my own place.
So literally, you mentioned like everything that I say actually helped you, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm really glad to hear that everything that we went through this session actually helped you. So I'm really so much into it to see you like happy and growing at the same time, and to accomplish all the goals that you have in your life. That will be one of the things that will actually make me feel good as your counselor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I guess that's it, and I'll put everything that we talked about into play. I'll do my best to get some separate housing options gone. I guess, like, he can always stay with at my mom's place because that's all paid off. We don't have to worry about that there. Yeah. And then I have a job. Like, I'm pretty stable. I can get my own place. I'm going to worry about him, but I think that if I keep coming back and seeing you and talking about it, that I'll be able to get through it. So
is there anything else that I can help you with before you actually leave my office?
No, I'm feeling good. I think
I'm so glad.
I think I'm good.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel right now?
Compared to earlier, I'm feeling about at least like a 7, 8.
Oh,
like I still have some insecurities, but I'm feeling confident. Like I have an idea of what I need to do, and I think it's the first time I've really like been solid in that idea of like, okay, I need to get my own place. I need to stop focusing on saving my brother, and I need to start focusing on living my life.
All right. So anytime that you feel like you need help, here's my card. You can actually call me anytime that you feel like you want to call me. You can email me. I will be always there for you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.